So I see a lot of misconceptions about becoming a notary public, and I want to kind of clarify some things because I don't want somebody to get into this, I guess you could say, profession, career, gig, without having a clear picture of what it actually is. You go online and you see people saying, oh, make $1,000 a day, become a notary public, and you'll be rolling in money, and all that stuff. And I just wanted to clear up a little bit, clear up some stuff a little bit for the new people coming in. Is it possible to make 10K? Absolutely. And first, let me say that this is not something that I usually do. I'm usually talking about my notary service, but I just wanted people to be aware. But there are people who are like, oh, you can make $10,000 a day. It's like, you can't make $10,000 a day. You can make $10,000 a month, but it requires so much hard work and dedication. Like, you have to be dedicated. Like, this is definitely not something that you can do in 5 minutes. How do I say this? It's not something that you can expect to become rich overnight. It does not work. It's like any other business. You have to market yourself. You have to do all of this stuff. And what I really don't, what really grinds my gears is when people talk about like the cost of becoming a notary public, because it's not something that's like, oh, becoming a notary public is only like $5. It's super cheap. Like, no, it's not cheap at all. Like, people who sit here and say that it's just so cheap to become a notary public, like, no, it's not. I guess it depends on what road you go down, but let's break this down. I have a calculator, so I'm gonna do my best to keep up with my own math. So, and this is for mainly Texas, but it's for all over the place as well. So generally, actually, would this be the cost for, yeah, this is the cost for the General Secretary of State in Texas. But actually no, because this was a whole separate thing, because this is for everybody. I went through the American Association for Notaries, if I remember correctly. So for that, like, without getting any stamps or anything, because I knew that I wasn't going to do like mobile notarizations, so it was like $70. And this is like the base. Like, it's $70 for the American Association of Notaries, and this isn't going through the NNA, because for me, I wanted like a cheaper option than the NNA. So to get just bare bones your application submitted to get your traditional notary is going to be $70, and that's without any of the supplies. If you wanted to add supplies on there, you'd have to add, like, I would say the least you could do is, actually no, it's $60. So $60 for the supplies, $70 for becoming a traditional notary, and that's gonna equal up to $130. We're at $130 already, and people are like, oh yeah, you can become a notary public like less than $100. That is not true. Not true. So yeah, so we're at $130, and they'll be like, oh, well, you don't even have to go through it, you can do it yourself. I mean, sure you can, but there's a lot of mailing back and forth, and I think you have to go up to the actual office, and you have to go through like companies anyways, so it's not like you can do it by yourself, at least anymore. So we're at $130 already, plus you have to get the insurance, and the bond does come with it for the American Association of Notaries, but you do need some errors and omission insurance. And I got mine from a whole different company that only cost me personally was like, what, $14. So let's add 14 to that. Plus, if you want to become an online notary and do online notarizations, that's going to cost you in Texas $50 for the application. What else? Also, I got my stamp for free. PandaDoc is how you get your notary stamp on PandaDoc, and you won't have to pay anything. So for me, it was free for that. So if you're also doing online notarizations, it's also going to be another, it's going to be $70 for the it's required necessary certificate. So $70. So we're going to add $70. And it is also going to be, what else did I need? I know it was my digital certificate. And what else did I need? I know I'm missing something. No, I'm not missing anything. Like I said, I got my online stamp for free. So already we're at $264, so 200, almost $300 out the gate for everything. And then if this isn't counting all the learning materials that you're going to need to get to be able to do your job, because they provide you with nothing. They don't give you a handbook, no nothing, which I think is pretty whack. But you're gonna need to buy that. And if you're going through Notarize requires you, and this is something that nobody talks about, Notarize requires you to take a loan signing course at the NNA. On the low end, it's $70, but if you want like study materials, plus you're gonna need a membership to the NNA, because I tried using my regular ID and they're like, no, you actually need a membership, so you have to add on the membership plus taking the test and the materials and all of that. And the cheapest plan they have is $70, not including the membership. So I would say $108 for the membership and the and for taking the test. And this is the low end. So we're gonna add $108 to be able to use the Notarize platform to get any sort of money into your investment. So already we're at $372. And for me, I use Blue Notary, so that's $27 a month, and they'll give you some, but they're not, it's not a lot, definitely not enough to sustain yourself without outsourcing and getting your own clients. So we're going to add $27. You can always do what I recommend, Pandadocs, because they don't have a service where, the one thing I don't like about Blue Notary is that they'll push their notarization service. So they'll try to like take your customers away from you and be like, oh, instead of using the person who brought you on, you can do it with all these other notaries. So I don't like that. So Pandadoc definitely doesn't do that. So it's $27 for Blue Notary. And Pandadoc, I forgot what the cost is, but you have to pay $10 per thing, per like signing. So there's that. But I think it's pretty worth it for general notarizations. So already we're at like $399, so $400 for everything. And this is not including advertising and everything. For advertising, it is all up to you. But to get started, it's not. Oh, you can get started for under $100. No, it's going to cost you around $400 to become a notary public. I hate when I hate going on a video and they're like, guys, this is the cheapest, easiest, you can do this for less than $100. No, you cannot. It's going to cost you around $400 realistically to get started. So there's that. So it's not one of these it's this thing where it's like, oh, it's completely 100% free and it's costs no money to get started. You could do this with your eyes closed, because you really can't. You got to bring your customers to you. You got to do your own advertising. You got to do it all by yourself. You have to really work to get clients. And if you're in a highly populated area, that's going to be difficult. Like if you're surrounded by like hundreds of notaries, that's gonna be difficult. But beyond that, I'd say, it's like $400 and take that as you may. Would I say that it's still a good option? Absolutely. I think it's an amazing opportunity for people who want a really good income. Like I said, you can make $10,000 off of this, but you're going to have to invest a lot of money to be able to make those high levels of return. You're going to have to do a lot of advertising. You're going to have to do you're going to have a lot of patience, and you're going to have to spend a lot of money on doing work for like Notarize and Blue Notary and stuff like that, other notarization companies, to even, begin to get enough money to make it worth it. Like, I would say you have to do, for Blue Notary, you get like $10 per you get $10 per notarization. So you're gonna have to do a lot of notarizations just to come out of the red for like $10 a pop. But again, it's not too difficult if you're quick enough on Notarize, I've heard. So yeah, it really grinds my gears when people give out information that's not, I would say, 100% correct.